Oh, baby, we're live. This is the best football show. I am Brian Baldinger at Baldy NFL. You can follow all my breakdowns all over social media. Evidently, a lot of people are watching them because everywhere I go, that's what people are talking about. And you can find this show by downloading a free Odyssey app. All right, like it and subscribe to it and check it out. It's Monday. We're live. I want your questions here. I want to tell you about what I've been up to, where I've been, where I'm going. So last Friday, for any of you that have been to Happy Valley, any of you that have been to Penn State, any of you that have been to State College for any reason at all, you know it's not an easy place to get to. So last Thursday, I flew into Pittsburgh and then drove 3 hours out to State College where I was basically stationed all day Friday. Great time. Great facility. James Franklin, head football coach there. Great guy. Coaching staff out there. A lot of ex Penn Staters. Saw Chop Robinson. Saw a lot of different guys that were out there supporting, all of the groups. So I was there early in the morning in the weight room, watching the guys bench press, watching the vertical jumps, watching the 40-yard dashes, watching all of the time shuttles, even watching Drew Aller throw a football, to some of his wide receivers. But, the story was obviously Abdul Carter and Ty Warren. And neither guy worked out, whether it was because of injuries or because they feel like they've done enough and the football does, so it wasn't the biggest crowd that I've seen. It wasn't like being at Miami's pro day watching Cam Ward, run and throw and do all the things that he did last week. I shouldn't say run. He didn't run, but watching his workout. So I got a chance. I had never met Abdul Carter, had never met Ty Warren. I got a chance to meet both guys. Drew Rosenhaus, been a friend of mine for a long time, represents Abdul Carter. Saw him early on Friday morning, went up and, talked to him, went and met Abdul Carter, and then talked to him throughout the day. But it was good. I mean, he's just, I think he's got some issues with his foot. I don't think it needs a surgery. Doesn't look like anything's planned for surgery. So I think, he's pretty clean at this point. They said there were some issues with his shoulder. I don't know. That's true. Now I watched him jump up on a pull-up bar and do 15 pull-ups like it was brushing your teeth in the morning. The guy is a phenomenal athlete, but he's good though. Like, he sounds like a football player, talks like a football player, all business, jokes around a little bit. Was there some, he's in the, he's got a stopwatch and he's there with all of his guys, whether it's Kobe King, pick out a guy that's working out. Like he's timing him in the stands. He's showing his watch for the guys are just there to support one another, like teammates, good teammates. Ty Warren, like I introduced myself to him, got to know him a little bit, asked him if he wanted to do an interview. He goes, absolutely, Baldy, I'll do it with you. But let's wait till everybody's done, which I loved. Actually, I loved. I mean, kept me around for a long time, but I love the fact, honestly, that it's about their team, about supporting their players. And that's what you see from these guys. Like, it's a fraternity. Kobe King is a 242-pound linebacker that, has got some thump to him. I don't know how much he bench pressed. I lost track. Did he do it 26 times, 27 times? The whole team was cheering for him in there. He ran every shuttle. He ran the 40-yard dash. I think he was a 4.62, off the top of my head. I have to go back and look at it. But, 4.62, good short shuttle, raised some eyebrows. But, he's a big-time prospect, day 2 prospect, off the ball inside linebacker. But, Ty Warren, you watch him and you go, what isn't there to like about him? The guy's a straight dog. Everybody says the same thing about him. You put him he's pretty laid back, but you put him on a football field and the guy just comes to life. I don't care if it's running wildcat, throwing the football, punting the football in a quick kick, snapping the ball and then running down the field on one of their, odd formations, scoring a touchdown against USC, 17 catches against USC in a game. Like, how does that even happen? The guy, I talked to him, like, he runs this Wildcat. He ran the ball 26 times last year. I think 4 went for touchdowns. But I asked him if he could take off from the 4-yard line and score. He said he could, but he'd have to extend the ball. And he doesn't want to extend it because the ball gets knocked out. Guys fumble on that particular play. But from the 3-yard line in, they want to outlaw the tush push. Ty Warren's your answer. He's 6'6". He's got long arms. He catches everything. He's a good blocker, can become a great blocker. He's only going to get stronger. Man, I got teams that are drooling about drafting Ty Warren. In fact, his roommate for 3 years at Penn State was Olu Fashanu of the New York Jets, and the Jets are picking there at 7. Could you see a reuniting of Olu and Ty Warren? They're both from Virginia. Like, they got along great. So anyways, that's, you find out that Olu and Ty were roommates for 3 years. You talk to Abdul, like you talk to James Franklin about Abdul Carter. He's from Philadelphia, LaSalle High School in Philadelphia. They wanted him to be a linebacker. So he played linebacker. But James Franklin's like, you're going to make your money rushing the passer. So, get used to it. And eventually he became an edge rusher, for James Franklin. But, originally, okay, you want to play linebacker, we'll play a linebacker. But honestly, I told James Franklin, I go, look, coach, I got access to every single college game. I can put together every single play that Abdul's made over the last 3 years. I got to tell you, it just goes on and on. It's 200 plays, in every kind of play, splitting double teams, not getting cut off on the backside, trailing a play and tracking it on the other side of the field, sacking quarterbacks, dropping into coverage. You name it. The guy is just a football player. And really, what I would say is, like Dallas did, with Micah. He's not Micah Parsons and I told that to James Franklin. He's not Micah. He wears the same number. I get it. He made a ton of plays at Penn State. I get it. But Micah was a wrestler. You can't get that guy off his feet. Now, Abdul doesn't have that kind of balance. He's got great ability. I don't think he's got Micah's ability. But, Chop Robinson was there supporting him. Chop ran a 4.48 coming out of Penn State. In the second half of the season for Miami last year, he really started to come on. Took him a little while, figure it out. I think Abdul might be faster than Chop. Abdul says he is. Chop says he isn't. But he's running in Abdul said he probably, if he ran, might run in the 4.3s. That's kind of Micah's territory. I don't know if he could do that. But it was a good day. It was a good day at State College. Getting a chance to see a lot of, day 2 and day 3, players. And then just to see the support that all the guys had for one another. That leads me to Colorado's Pro Day on Friday. In fact, Shiloh Sanders, Deion's son, who's a safety for Colorado, texted me last night. I was on a plane coming back from Florida, asked me if I was going to be there on Friday. Sapp asked me if I'm coming Friday. It's going to be a big deal. You're going to see Shedeur Sanders throw. You're going to see, Travis Hunter. I don't know what you're going to see Travis Hunter do. You're going to watch him cover, run, catch from Shedeur. It's going to be a big deal on Friday. It's going to be well attended. Boulder's going to have a lot of NFL scouts, general managers, coaches, personnel people there. Shedeur Sanders could easily be the best player in this draft. You could toss it up. Is Abdul Carter the best player? Is one of the quarterbacks one of the best players? Is Ashton Genty the best player? There's no consensus number one player. But it's hard to watch Travis Hunter play and go, this guy, if he's not the best player, he's the best athlete. So I'm anticipating an enormous turnout. I'm sure that Tennessee will be there, just like they were last Monday for Cam Ward. I'm sure Cleveland's going to be there. I'm sure the New York Giants are going to be there in attendance. Joe Shane. It wouldn't surprise me to see Brian Dable there. You're going to see a lot of teams that are going to be in attendance. Because if Shador drops, like, is Pittsburgh in play, to go draft Shador? Is the Giants in play? Like, it's just going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have Warren Sapp out there coaching his kids and watching his kids. And Marshall Falk is now on the staff. Pat Shermer's the offensive coordinator, long time, head coach, offensive coordinator in this league. It's going to be fun, and then Deion's going to be there. Deion coming off, just signing a brand new 5-year contract extension to be the head coach there, for what the going rate is for head coaches. What is that, 10, 11, $12 million a year, whatever. Congratulations. Which leads me to more quarterback talk, and that's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the carousel has practically stopped. There's still some players on the quarterback carousel. Does Kirk Cousins get out of his deal in Atlanta? Is Carson Wentz going to get signed? But really, the story is Aaron Rodgers, because the only place that looks like that there's a starting job remaining is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he's been linked to the Steelers for a long time. And then you find out this past weekend, he had a throwing session with the newest Steeler, DK Metcalf. Like, it feels like it's getting closer and closer. And I'll just say this about DK. When DK came out of Ole Miss, I think he was drafted at the bottom of the second round. I think he was the 60th pick in that draft. And I remember talking to Russell Wilson going into DK's rookie year. And I just asked him, what is DK? Is he just a go route guy and just that's what he is? Like, just a straight line go route guy? And he goes, absolutely not. He is, he can run every route in the tree. Digs, slants, double moves, sluggos, bang eights. And I kind of feel like that's what Aaron wanted to see. Like, what is this guy? Let me go throw. So they have this throwing session. Now, there's still a ton of stuff. Aaron has been awfully quiet, probably as quiet as Aaron's ever been, right? But we know he's linked to Pittsburgh. He's met with them. Now he's throwing with DK Metcalf. And look, you can read the tea leaves. Like, it seems like that's the natural fit. Mason Rudolph is the backup. He's not a threat to Aaron. Mason has been there in Pittsburgh, started some games for Tennessee last year, drafted by Pittsburgh out of Oklahoma State, all that stuff. We kind of know what Mason Rudolph is at this point. But Pittsburgh, could this be the link? Could this be the link right here to Pittsburgh? And by the way, we're live here, folks. So if you have any questions about anything that I have seen, I've been to Miami's Pro Day, been to Penn State's Pro Day, heading out to Colorado. We've got the owners' meetings at the Breakers in Palm Beach right now. The owners, a lot of coaches. We saw the coaches take their team photo yesterday. Andy Reid with a nice Tommy Bahama shirt sitting next to Nick Sirianni. Which leads me to some of the rule changes that are being discussed down there in Palm Beach. It looks like this tush push there is momentum to shut it down. It's gaining momentum. Now, the vote hasn't been cast, so I don't want to kill it yet. We thought it was going to get killed last year, and it didn't. But I thought it was pretty funny that Nick Sirianni said, well, let's say, Jonathan Gannon, Kellen Moore, all these guys that have left Philadelphia's nest, they better vote for it, because one of the reasons why they're head coaches is because of the tush push. And he's right. Shane Steichen, he goes, we better have 4 votes, at least 4 votes for it. Now, it's tongue-in-cheek by Nick. But he's right. Philadelphia, the touchdowns, the 4th down conversions, the 3rd down conversions, staying on the field. I say a lot of Sundays in this league are decided by the longest yard, the inability to gain a yard, something Philadelphia has done at about a 90% clip or more over the last 3 years, converting those tush pushes. The touchdown runs of Jalen Hurts have been astronomical because of it. But it is gaining momentum. People don't want to see that play where people are pushing the player across. But be honest with you, I don't know how many quarterbacks in the league are as strong as Jalen Hurts. And then, what Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach in Philadelphia, would say is prior to the tush push, when Carson Wentz was the quarterback, they converted quarterback sneaks at a clip of 36 out of 38 attempts while he was there. So maybe it's not just a tush push. Maybe it's the way they coach short yardage situations. Maybe it's the play of a bona fide top 5 offensive line for the last decade in Philadelphia that has something to do with it. But, Sean McDermott, former, Philadelphia Eagle coach, with Andy Reid, head coach of Buffalo. You look at, what Green Bay is saying. There's a lot of coaches that are kind of Dallas looks like they're against it. So that's that right now. And we'll see what else takes place. I mean, I hope they don't move the kickoff on a touchback up to the 35-yard line. I hope that's not the case. Because as an offensive lineman or as an NFL player for a long time, if we got to midfield, I always felt like we were going to score. And if you start at the 35-yard line, you just need a first down. You're at or near the midfield. I mean, you're already thinking about scoring. Scoring is only going to go up. I don't think that's the answer to putting the kickoff return into place by putting the touchback at the 35-yard line. I hope that doesn't happen. Anyways, I wanted to just let you know that we are live. And you can, funnel your questions in here, and I'll be happy to answer any of them while we're here. The other thing about these pro days is it really gives an opportunity to see, a lot of these guys coming in. A lot of these, Warren Sapp's got 3 or 4 guys I saw at the Hula Bowl that aren't first, they're not day one picks, but they've been coached by a Hall of Fame player. Warren's done a great job of coaching them up. They showed up at the Hula Bowl. There's some guys on the defensive line in a very deep draft of defensive linemen that I think have a chance, to really perform and play. All right. So anyways, I'm busy studying defensive linemen. I just got done studying Ty Robinson at Nebraska, TJ Sanders at South Carolina. I keep going through these guys because when I watch Ty Robinson at Nebraska, like all I can see is that looks like Zach Sealer out there. It just looks like, Zach Sealer was a 7th round pick at a Ferris State by Baltimore, started 2 games in 4 years, and then was a pickup by the Miami Dolphins. And he's the only defensive tackle I've seen in this league that has 20 sacks over the last 2 years. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Justin Matabike, maybe, I don't know, Chris Jones. Maybe one of these guys do, but I haven't seen anybody accumulate 20 sacks. And this was a 7th round pick, from Ferris State. So Ty Robinson reminds me of him, with length and size and strength. You just got to give these guys an opportunity. So give Warren Sapp's kids an opportunity to get in there and show their skills on Friday as these pro days really begin to wind down. In fact, I'm not sure that there's another true pro day after Friday's Colorado. There's some private workouts that will take place with individual players because of injuries and setbacks and that kind of thing. So anyways, that's been the Best Football Show. I'll be back here again tomorrow to talk about some things that come out of the owners' meeting in Palm Beach, maybe some Aaron Rodgers news, maybe some other news being broken at the Breakers in Palm Beach, and then just like, some things about this upcoming draft, because we are now 24 days away from the NFL draft in Green Bay. So it is a deep draft for defensive linemen and running backs, and maybe I'll talk about some of them tomorrow. But thanks for joining me, everybody, on the Best Football Show. I'm Brian Baldinger. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow.